What's up guys, Dan here with Next Level. We are getting ready to go riding, man. It's snowing as we're making this video. It's that time of year, guys. We're pulling our gear out of our bags. We're looking at our last year's gear, and man, it could use a good cleaning. So what better way to find out how to clean our gear properly than to come right to KLIM headquarters and find out the best way to do this. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so we made it inside KLIM and we're connecting with Dustin Pancari. Dustin, what's up?
Hey there.
So we're going to talk with Dustin about proper care of our gear. So
Absolutely.
What are we doing today, bud?
Let's go through and learn how to wash it and take care of it. We'll show you the process. It's easy. Okay, so in the fit room, this is where our designers and our developers bring models up and see how our test garments fit. And you see we got snowmobile, we got dirt bike here. Basically, they can put something on, sit on the snowmobile, go through all the motions, say, is it pulling, is it tight, do I have full range of motion? So there's a lot we can do up here. We spend quite a bit of time in here. But then background here in the corner, we've got washer and dryer.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to learn how to take care of the gear today.
Awesome. A lot of the questions that I get on my social feed is, proper care of the gear, like what to do with it after X amount of rides, or maybe it's just like we were talking about, it's the beginning of the season, what to do to properly care for the gear. So let's go through it step by step.
Yeah. So this is a question we get a lot. We get customer service calls all the time about it. So the first thing to understand is there's a care tag on every garment, everything we sell, right? Sometimes you got to look for it, but generally it's in the top or it's down here around the waist, and it's this black tag right here with little teeny tiny letters, right?
Got it.
But it's going to say care instructions, right? And it goes through and lists step by step what you should and what you shouldn't do. Okay. Generalizing it, almost all the time it's going to be wash with mild detergent. So it can be powder, it can be liquid, doesn't really matter. But don't use like really extra strength, super hootie, whatever. You don't need that much detergent. The key is to agitate it. If you put it in there, you agitate it, you use warm water, that's what's going to do the best job for you.
Awesome. Okay. And then also in terms of just throwing the gear in there, is it important that you zip up all your zippers, your Velcro, so snap it all up?
Yeah, because you don't want any the Velcro getting caught on anything, so you want to do up all your zippers, all your snaps, all your Velcro. That way when you pull it out, it's not all mangled up and attached to everything. And
so people ask me all the time what the extra piece of Velcro is on the gator. And you asked me that, so
yeah, so you can take
I think I'm wondering
your
too.
Gator and you can go like that. And then when you pull it out of the washer, it's not stuck to it.
It's not stuck to itself. I got it.
Makes
Stuck all
life
over
a
the
little
place.
easier. Yeah.
And you can tell with the 80 to 100 days of season.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I should have washed this maybe a time or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stink.
All right, Dustin. So I'm pretty excited to get this thing washed. Let's get this onesie prepared and let's throw it in the washer.
Yeah, for sure. Let's check the pockets. Okay, so we're just going to use regular old Tide laundry detergent, follow the instructions as far as how much we use inside the washer. And then we'll set the washer. Come on. And it's just a normal wash cycle, not like a sensitive cycle or anything like that. Warm heat. But we will rinse it twice.
All right, Dustin. So while we're washing that gear, we're still talking about pre-season here. Guys they're just getting ready to ride. They're pulling this gear out. They want to wash it. Once it's washed, I think it'd be a good time, right, to start just inspecting the gear. And what would you be looking for in terms of just overall inspection of the gear before you're going to go out and ride? Yeah,
for sure, because you don't want to have a problem on the mountain. You want to find it before you get up there. Yeah, so obviously you want to check all the working parts, right? So check your zippers, make the pull tabs are there, everything works properly. Go over the gear to make sure there's not any damaged areas. So like for example on this one, this is a test piece that we were working on. We've got a burn mark, right? So at that point you got to decide, all right, do I want to repair it myself or do I want to send it in and get repaired?
Okay.
And there are some options as far as kind of addressing it yourself and repairing it. We have some patches that we can sell.
Oh, wow.
And they're inexpensive and they kind of get you by in a pinch or whatever. You can keep them on hand. You can iron them on. That's the best way to go. In fact, I've got this. This is what it looks like.
Check that out.
Right?
Okay.
So they will adhere without ironing them on, but to get the full effect and make them last, you want to take a wet rag and put it on top of it and then kind of iron it on, let it adhere.
Nice.
And
so
that's a good
it'll maintain its waterproof after you bind that on.
It's a waterproof option for sure.
And then is there multiple size patches or do you limit it as This is kind of a condensed or a tiny area.
Yeah, we've got.
You want to be realistic about it.
We have a couple different sizes, and you can cut them down. So
Nice.
we'll have like a larger one and then a small one, and then you can cut it to whatever you
Cut
need.
it down, iron it on, and away you go.
Yep.
Nice. Perfect. Like repairing a flat tire.
I've actually had to do it, and they work really well.
Okay.
So.
All right, so we've inspected that, small fixes like that. We inspect all the pull tabs, your zipper, the Velcro.
Seams.
All of the seams
Buttons.
within the gear.
I've had a situation where I've had one of these come off. It's easy to fix. So yeah, all your Velcro, you know, make sure it's not coming apart. It's still latching really, really well. Just kind of go through and just an easy, you know, once over.
Yep.
Make sure nothing's coming apart. Normally you wouldn't find anything.
And anytime there's a button failure, is that something that you guys do here at KLIM?
Yep, we
If
can.
a button won't stick, is that something where they would send pictures of it and then either send that in or bring it over to KLIM, something like that?
So you would go through the repair process. You'd go online, hit the repair warranty tab. At
Okay,
the bottom
so
of
right
that.
on the KLIM website, you can go through that and
Yep, fill out a form. It'll give you the option to either submit photos or send it in. Most people just want to submit a photo to get an estimate on, hey, is this probably going to be a warranted item or not?
Yeah.
And then we'll reply and tell you what the scenario is, send it in. Like a snap's really easy to fix.
Okay.
So even zippers can be replaced.
When in inspecting this piece, and this is obviously a last year's rip saw, I noticed this, and I know that you guys were using this as a sample piece. Is something like this tear right here kind of in the armpit, which I would think that as you're riding, fairly typical. When you're tree riding, you got your backpack right there, something like that. Is this something repairable?
Yeah, for sure. Yep. So what they do is they repair a panel. So there's a seam here, there's a seam that comes along here, right? So they'll take this panel and remove it, then they'll lay a new panel in there, and they'll sew it in. But then after they sew it in, they have to seam seal. You can see the seam there, right? The seal. To make it waterproof, they've got to run seam seal all the way around that.
Nice.
So it's a little bit labor intensive.
Yeah.
But our repair process is not a profit center for us. It's just we charge the labor and the materials to get the consumer back on the snow.
So it's important, you guys, pre-season to check over your gear, because obviously the time, no better time than right now, before you're going to get out there and get riding. If you do have any kind of damage to your gear, you know, wash it up. Go through the proper process, which we're learning today. But then if there is any of these tears or any imperfections in the gear, now would be the time to reach out to KLIM and get those things repaired.
Yeah. Okay, so we pulled the garment out of the washer, and when we read the care instructions, it said to air dry for 20 minutes. So we hung it up, let it dry there for 20 minutes. Now we're ready to put it in the dryer. But if we have a scenario where we need to reapply the DWR, this is where we would do it.
So tell me again, Dustin, what is DWR?
Yeah, so DWR stands for durable water repellency,
Okay.
right? And that, again, that's what makes the water beat up on the outside of the garment.
Okay.
But if we get to the point where it's not beating up, then we need to reapply it.
Okay.
So here's a little example of how we can tell when we need to apply the DWR. So this is Gore-Tex. We've got one panel that has DWR on it and one that does not. Got a little bit of water here. So we're just gonna pour a little bit of water on both sides, and you're gonna see what it looks like when it beads up and when it doesn't. So see how that just runs away?
Yeah.
Those little beads, and that's just kind of pooling. If you see this pooling and it's not trying to run away, that means that it's starting to absorb into the outer fabric, right?
Which as you're riding, you can see your gear where it really does. It's not beating off any longer, and it's actually just laying there. And you were talking about where it's like freezing, literally freezing onto the side of you. That's when you could that's the identifier to let you know that we need to reapply the DWR.
Yeah, for sure. And watch this. So we're gonna dump the water off this, and I want you to see the after effect of this, okay? So we dump the water off. Look at the side with DWR, how it's not absorbed versus the side without. And you can see where it kind of absorbed into the face fabric.
Yeah.
So this is where it's gonna freeze and get cold, but now it's just gone. The water's completely gone.
Man,
so this tells us I need to reapply my DWR now.
Okay.
Okay? So if we see that,
when
we're out in the field, we're gonna know when I wash this, I need to reapply my DWR.
Right. And you do that after you've washed it, let it hang for 20, and then you're going to put it into the dryer, or is this the time?
So if you've already dried it and it still isn't working right, this is the time to do it. But sometimes just simply drying it will revive your DWR and it'll start working again.
So guys that have brand new gear, and let's say they went out on a few rides, but now they're in this, they've seen the video, and they're like, man, I'm in this process now, or I'm going to wash my gear a lot, because now I know that it's not harming the gear. It's not taking away like other brands of gear, where it's actually taking away the waterproof. This is actually helping it. they're probably not having to apply or reapply the DWR immediately. This could
you're
be
gonna
gear
get
that's got X amount of rides on it. It's a year or two old, something like that.
Maybe.
Or you're just really witnessing that happening a lot while you're riding, where you're seeing that gear, you're seeing the fabric, it's literally saturated, it's not beating up. That's when you would know.
Yeah, you're gonna get, I mean, you might get 2, 3, 4 washes and dries before you start to notice that, hey, I just washed it and dried it, but it's not beating up anymore.
While we're on the topic of the DWR, we've talked about using the DWR. Where do you get this product?
Yeah, good question. So it's readily available online, department stores, outdoor stores. A lot of outdoor gear uses it. So about any outdoor supplier carries this.
Okay, so it's really not about a specific brand. It's just using an outdoor DWR, just some sort of repellent.
The only thing that I would say to that is there are a couple of DWR applications where they say, hey, throw this in the washer with the garment.
Okay.
We don't recommend that because now you're applying DWR to the inside of the garment and the outside.
Okay.
Remember, we talked about keeping the pores of the Gore-Tex open.
Yes.
We don't want to plug them with DWR. So we don't want the DWR inside the garment. We just want it outside.
So you want to manually apply and spray this just to the outside of the garment.
Outside only.
Makes total sense.
Yeah. So don't throw anything. There's several brands that say, yeah, just throw it in the washer. We don't recommend that.
Okay. Makes total sense.
Yep.
All right, Dustin, so explain to me the process of how we apply the DWR to the garment.
Yeah, no, it's pretty easy. I mean, while it's wet, after you've pulled it out of the washer and it's air dried a little bit, in this case it's a spray bottle, so we're just gonna, first actually we would normally hang it. It would be hanging, it's easier that way, right?
Okay, yep.
Because you wanna focus on the areas that you're gonna have the highest chance of getting moisture. So shoulders, arms, cuffs, that's where you're gonna wanna have a little bit more liberal amount, right?
Yes.
So, but you just spray it all over it, right?
Yep.
Kind of get a good coat. This bottle's not looking too good, but you get it on there as good as you can. So you cover the whole area, and then you throw it in the dryer, warm heat, minimum 20 minutes, and that's going to allow it to adhere into the fabric and stand those little hair follicles up that we talked about, so it'll rejuvenate itself.
And no such thing as applying too much of it. Could you literally, because you're going to get the guy that, man, he's just all about the waterproof and putting it all back into it, especially if it's an older garment.
Yeah, I mean, you would be wasteful if you just soaked the whole thing.
Okay, so
you're just
applying it liberally, but you are spraying, and you are concentrating on those areas where, like you were saying, your shoulders, your forearms, areas that we're constantly seeing a lot of that.
Knees, those impact areas.
Yeah, just impact areas. Copy that. Okay, excellent. All right, Dustin, so we've washed our garment, we've let it hang, we've applied the DWR. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this stuff, but we've got it drying now. Now that it's drying, what else do we need to know?
Yeah, so there's a lot of misconceptions and some things people don't understand, like the difference between what the DWR does versus how Gore-Tex works,
right,
and where the actual waterproofness really is. So if we go back to our example that we gave before, this fabric we had, DWR was applied here and it wasn't applied here, and we saw how that affected the fabric. But that's not what makes it waterproof. What makes it waterproof is on the backside here is the actual Gore-Tex material. So this white material is the Gore-Tex, and it's laminated to this fabric on the outside, like through a process where they laminate them together, glue them together. The Gore-Tex material is what makes it waterproof. It's what keeps outside moisture from getting into the body, and it's also what allows the moisture that the body makes, sweat, breathe away from the body. Because you got to stay dry in both conditions, right? You don't want it to be, you don't want that sweat to make you cold.
Yeah.
So Gore-Tex is really the key there. It's this fabric that makes things waterproof and also makes it breathable.
Right.
So that's one of the big keys. People are like, well, what's the difference between DWR and Gore-Tex?
Right.
One of them's the waterproofness, and then the other one, the DWR, is just to keep it from absorbing into the face fabric and making it heavy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so reapplying DWR, that process, I'm actually doing what? Because if the Gore-Tex is what is really creating or making that waterproof surface from allowing moisture to come in as well as letting that moisture go out of my body, the DWR is doing what? Like, what is its purpose?
The DWR is keeping the fabric from getting heavy and freezing.
Okay. So like we had talked about, when you see it freezing on you, or how we saw it on this sample piece, how it was, instead of beating off of there, you're actually seeing it actually pulling up or actually soaking into the material.
Yeah,
that's
so
what the DWR is.
With or without DWR, it's still going to be waterproof.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of the comfort on the outside of the garment.
Well, perfect, Dustin. I really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
As I think about it with the gear, and I've been working with you guys for the last 6 seasons, just like snowmobiles, they're a $15,000 machine. The amount of maintenance that it takes to keep those machines working, to their sort of optimal performance throughout the year, it shouldn't be any different with the gear we wear. KLIM gear, it's expensive. you know, it's some of the higher price stuff. It's an investment,
Yeah.
certainly. And so it's like, it makes so much sense to maintain that gear properly, just like we would do our sleds. It's all a wear item, correct?
For sure.
So this creeper dude, I think his name is Kevin, has been next to me this entire time. So I'm saying bye to this guy and bye to you guys. Once again, you guys subscribe to the channel. Remember to leave those questions and comments below. Probably a lot of comments or questions about your gear, what the right timing is in terms of washing it and all those things. Also, we will leave some information about DWR below. You guys, thanks a lot for the support of the channel, and we'll see you next time.